Hello and welcome to the video. This is a video to give you a quick view of the next plane that I'm going to be building on the channel. This is the Reptile Dragon 2, a 1.2 meter wingspan twin designed all around FPV. Comes with either a traditional tail that I've got attached at the moment or a V-tail that comes in the box. Now, I did a video a couple of weeks ago looking at the new ZOHD Altus, and there was a couple of things that I would have changed if they'd have asked me to look at the design before it was produced. One of which was a longer nose to help with central gravity and lighter batteries, and then a couple of other tweaks as well. And I need to say a massive thank you to those of you that got in touch that said, actually that plane kind of exists. It's called a Reptile 2. Now, I've ordered this one from Banggood and it's only just arrived. I've literally just unboxed it, but I thought it would be fun to show you what it looks like and talk about what my plans are for this thing, because I tend to build it out using exactly the same electronics as I did with that ZOHD Altus. So stick walk snail in the nose, put a flight controller in it, stick INAV 7.11 or 1.2, whatever's out when I do it, in here as well, twin motors, and probably use the conventional tail as well and give it a fly, because I've had some really good feedback that this is actually a really solid plane and not too expensive. So while I go through the unboxing, let's just run through the highlights and then I'll kind of go through some of the things that have impressed me already with me taking this out of the box. So again, this is the Reptile Dragon 2 1.2 meter wingspan EPP FPV aircraft. There's two versions that you can either get it without all the electronics or the kit version that I've got here. And this one comes with the motors, ESCs and the servos and all the linkages, along with 4 propellers, 2 ones that we're going to use and 2 spares. Love to see that as well. And the motors are 1800 kV motors, and there are 4 9-gram servos in the box and 2 of those smaller multi-rotor style ESCs that you tend to find on things like Atom RC models as well. In addition to this, we are going to need a battery, a receiver, we're going to need a flight controller, the walk snail kit, and some other bits and pieces too, but it's going to be relatively easy to put together. However, one thing I have noticed as I've taken it out of the box is none of the electronics are installed, so it's up to me to install things like the servos in the right position for both the elevator and the rudder, the ailerons, and also then fit the motors, wire it onto the ESCs and do all of those pieces too. So it's not going to be one of those things that it's a 2-minute job to put together. There's a little bit more work to do. Now, in terms of the stuff that I've spotted that I've already like, let's start at the nose and work our way back. The nose itself sadly isn't removable. Kind of wish it was. I'm sure there's loads of 3D printable options out there, obviously designed around some kind of action camera and an FPV camera as well. This may be the model that I put one of my 3D printable pan and tilts here up on the nose so that I can actually look around and use either head tracking or just use an auxiliary control for kind of pan and basic tilt. Then behind that we have a massive space, one single spot to both get your battery in here, but also to get your flight controller and other pieces. We have the main carbon spar that goes to the middle of it. I also like that underneath this we have reinforcement for this very large piece of foam, as well as a couple of supports. So if you wanted to mount an action camera or something else on here, there's kind of already the PCB risers kind of stuck into the foam itself. The canopy isn't a great fit. It's a little bit of a fight to get it back in, but I'm sure once with a bit of effort, we'll be able to make that fit a little bit nicer. Behind that, it's held in place with magnets, and we have a place for the GPS as well. The tail itself just pushes home. Again, there are both a V-tail and the conventional tail versions. I'm tempted to build it with a conventional tail. Again, absolutely shed loads of room in here for all of the electronics, and also there's even a space at the bottom for you to fit additional pieces too. So I'm not going to run out of spaces or have to really fight in order to get the pieces inside. And it looks like I could make it so the tail is removable. I might think about how to do that in kind of a spring-loaded way so that it's easier to transport too, because being able to just push this in would be really handy. Ooh, this is one of the things that changed on the version 2. This is a rectangular cutout rather than a square one, which is what it was in the original one. Room at the back for the two control servos. So we have this one here, which is going to control the elevator, and then we have this one here, which is going to be the recess for the rudder. Control surfaces, it seem quite nicely sized, and they are reinforced with carbon fiber. But it's the wings that are pretty cool, because there's this little rotating piece here that actually screws the wings into position. So although this comes out, and I haven't quite figured out how this is all going to fit together yet. This is kind of my first look at it. There's the middle bit here, which has the motor nacelle piece, and that connects to the outer wing via this little screw piece. So I'm guessing what I'll probably end up doing is maybe gluing these inner pieces with the motor's nacelles actually onto the frame maybe, and then making it so these outer pieces remove. There are electronic connectors here between the motor nacelles and the outer wing, so that does mean that these wings are designed to be removable in the field. And I love this kind of little screw doohickey here that allows you to remove it without too much messing around. No flaps sadly, but the aileron controls are absolutely massive, so I may configure them to be something like, I don't know, flaperons maybe. The carbon fiber reinforcement isn't in here in mine, so I'm just going to yoo-hoo pour that they have been included in the kit. So I'm going to pop them into place. Again, a place for the servos. So stay tuned. This should be a fun, exciting build. I'm hoping to do another video where I'll show you how I've built it out and then put the electronics inside. It's going to be standard stuff. You've seen me do it quite a few times. And then we'll take it to the field and give it a chuck. But without the electronics in, it doesn't feel particularly heavy, and it's got a huge wing area. So I imagine this is going to be quite a nice floaty plane. The motors that come with it aren't particularly big either. So I'm hoping that that means that they're relatively compact and efficient, and there isn't too much chance of a prop strike. So stay tuned. The other videos will be coming soon. And again, thank you to all of you who let me know that this thing was around, because it's kind of fun to get a new model in and spend a couple of evenings putting it together. Thank you for watching my video. Check out the playlist, and adding Painless360 to your search terms will help you find my content. If you haven't done so already, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. You can support the time I spend here answering questions and helping others by using the links in the video description.